Hello, boys and girls. Make sure that you have a checking pen and your correct day 7 daily language warm up so we can go over and check this. Number 1, do you want to go to Burger King with Mom, Dad, and Lily? All right, so first thing we need to fix, and I'm going to see if I can get these text boxes working for me today. The D needs to be capitalized at the beginning of the sentence. Do you wanna is not a word. Should be want to go to. TWO is a homophone for TO and TOO. That means the number 2. Do you want to go number 2 Burger King? Haha, no. Don't think so. So do you want to go to TO, like towards, Burger King? Burger King need to be capitalized because they are the name of the establishment, proper noun. With, now this part's kind of tricky. Mom, Dad, and Lily. All right, so we have mom in a sentence. You do not always capitalize the word mom when you hear it in a sentence. But if you are using it as a name or a nickname, you do capitalize it. So we're going to capitalize mom. Okay, now, as another example, just to tell you, this is a tricky rule. Let's say you had this sentence, do you want to go to Burger King with my mom? Now, because you have the word my, you would not capitalize mom, okay? Because you're not using it as a name or a nickname. A good trick or rule of thumb is if you could replace it with a name in the sentence, then you should capitalize it. So, for example, if you had Anna instead, you wouldn't say, do you want to go to Burger King with my Anna? That wouldn't sound right, okay? Now, here, do you want to go to Burger King with Anna? If you replace it with Anna as a name, then you're using mom as a name, which means that you do need to capitalize it, okay? So that word my throws it off. If they have my before it, with my mom, you will not capitalize it because you would not say with my Jim Bob or whatever, okay? Here you would say with Jim Bob. Using it as a name, capitalize it. Okay, so do you want to go to Burger King with Mom, Dad, and Lily? Well, you are listing 3 people, so that's commas in the series. You're listing 3, you need 2 commas. Mom, comma. Now here, Dad is being used the same way. It's being used as a nickname. It's not my dad, it's Dad, so you have to capitalize it, comma, and capitalize your L in Lily, because that is her name for sure, and you need a period at the end. Oh, nope, sorry, you need a question mark at the end, because it is a question, or in 5th grade we will call it an interrogative, just to be fancy and sound smart. All right, so that's all for number 1. Number 2. My bedtime is 8:30 every night. So we need to capitalize the first letter, my bed time. Now, that almost looks like how you spell the herb time, like you might put that in your food, but that's not actually spelled correctly either. Time, as in hours and minutes and days, should be spelled T-I-M-E. My bedtime is, and they give us the time, 8. And I can't tell if they have the colon in there or not, but you always need a colon to separate your hours and your minutes. So 8:30 every night. Night is misspelled. It should be N-I-G-H-T. You need a period because it is a statement or a declarative. Hold on, someone's calling me. Okay, sorry about that interruption. I'm just so very popular. Just kidding. Okay, my bedtime is 8:30 every night. So that is a declarative. Am I still in there? Yes. Or a statement. Number 3. How often you get an allowance? I get mine every 2 weeks. Ooh, that's a fun one. Okay. So, how often we need to capitalize the H at the beginning of the sentence? How often you get an allowance. They left out the word do. How often do you get in allowance? It should not be in allowance. You're not getting in the allowance. You get an allowance. Now, let's read that again. How often do you get an allowance? I get mine every 2 weeks. That is a run-on. We need to separate it into 2 sentences. The first sentence is a question or an interrogative. I'm not going to type that all out, but it's an interrogative. And then we're going to put capital I for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's the beginning of a new sentence. Number 2, you always capitalize the pronoun I no matter where it is. I get mine every, there's our 2 again. So we have towards week. We need the number 2 like up here. So the other homophone, TWO, week. I get mine every 2 weeks. Should be weeks because it is plural. Period. It's a statement or a declarative. All right, down here, parts of speech with synonyms and antonyms. All right, so we have shout, synonyms. I love that Merriam-Webster site again. Synonyms of shout. Lots of them listed here. Bawl, bay, bellow, cry, holler, hollow, roar, call, sound off, thunder, vociferate. There's a word you probably didn't know. And yell. So I'm going to use vociferate because we're going to stretch your vocabulary. And also, I just love that vociferate is one of those where you can see the root in it. Oh, man, I got rid of my text box. But if you look at it, V-O-C, vociferate, you can almost see where it looks like the word voice. You use your voice when you shout. So when you vociferate something, you are using your voice. All right, antonym for shout. This is why I like this website, because you can't really have a true antonym of shouting. That means that you would have to have like negative sound coming out of you, and you can't. Most people would say whisper is an antonym of shout, because when you shout, you're shouting loudly. When you whisper, you're talking really quietly. So I would take that as an antonym, but I love that they actually say near antonyms of shout. I'm going to say whisper. Am I going to get rid of my text box again? Oh, yay. All right, street. Synonym. So street is a noun. You can look it up on here and it'll tell you the meaning. A passage cleared for public vehicular travel. Synonyms of street. They have lots and lots of them listed here. Arterial, artery, avenue, boulevard, carriageway if you're British. Carriageway. Drag, drive, expressway, freeway, high road, highway, pass, pike, road, roadway, route, row, way, thoroughfare, throughway, trace, and turnpike. I'm just going to use plain old road. If you want to use one of the fancy ones, you can. You want to be British. So a road is a synonym for a street. They mean the same. Antonyms. Again, this is why I kind of like the website. If you notice, they don't even list any near antonyms because there is no way to be the opposite of a street. Okay. I've had kids in the past get cute and put some things, be creative. You can do that. Like I had somebody one year that I think put grass or something because they said you drive on a street but not on the grass. That's fine. You can just put none because there really aren't any true antonyms of street. All right, figurative language. Directions. Tell what the underlined idiom represents. It says, he sounds like a broken record since he keeps telling the story over and over again. All right, I would not have called this an idiom. I would have called this a simile because it's comparing two unlike things. It's comparing the way he sounds with a broken record, so comparing him to a record using the word like. And you can, when you have figurative language, it can sometimes be more than one type. I just would not have called this an idiom, because while it is a common phrase, and idioms are common phrases, broken records, I mean, I know you all probably don't know much about them, but when I was growing up, a broken record, it would repeat things over and over again. So to me, if he's repeating things over and over again, he would sound like a broken record. So anyway, I would call that a simile instead of an idiom. Regardless, it just means that he is repeating himself. All right. Day is to week, so a day is a part of a week, as month is to year, because month is part of a year. Right is to left. Sorry, you can hear my dog. He's groaning at me in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Right is to left, so there we have some true antonyms, as after is to before or preceding. I'm going to say preceding before. All right, that's it. So you should have made all of your corrections. Make sure you didn't leave anything out. And I would like for you to put this back into your reading folder, stations folder. All right.